Hello, welcome to the land of Kakiak. I am Laurel, and today I am going to give you a quick flip through of my new Spelling Bootcamp. These are the main resources. You have a teacher notebook, a student notebook, and you have the assessments, right? So these are just ways that you can test to see what your child is missing, and then I've also given you suggested lessons to address those deficiencies. So AF stands for alpha phonics. So if you get this, you're definitely going to want to read this page. Okay, this is going to tell you the two ways that you can use this resource. One, you can do the assessments and then do targeted practice using the different lessons and resources that are suggested. The second way is just to go all the way through as boot camp lessons, lesson 1 through 34, and just go with the flow. That's what I did with it. So besides this, there are some suggested resources that you might want to use, and these are links. So if you open up your document, you can just go to Don Potter has some free alpha phonics phonogram flashcards. I'll show you what those look like. They look like this. I had my kids go through and make, at the very beginning, we did a right pile, wrong pile with these, and they needed to know, all of the pronunciations of all the phonograms. I think there's 70 something of them. And the ones that were wrong, we put the ones that were right to the side, and we kept these for our warm-up time. You'll see how that worked later. And I had them just go ahead and highlight the pronunciations, because certain ones have multiple sounds that they stand for. So that's free. And okay, spelling rules and terms flashcards. That's mine. That's this. This is I think this is $5. You can do the program without the flashcards, or you can make your own, because I do give you all the rules and all the vocabulary and stuff. It's just nice to have because it makes it easier to do warm-up. I'll show you how. Splendid spelling. So there's two options for this. This is the Amazon link to buy her printed copy, and I think that's $10. And then she also offers it for free to print. It looks like this. And I'll talk to you about that when we get there. Let's see what else is there on here. Alpha Phonics workbook. So you can buy it as an Amazon link, or you can do the free to print version. Alpha Phonics manual, free to print version. So this is when you do those assessment tests, you come across that your kid really needs to work on some basic phonics. Those, that's like for a younger student probably. Then that's a good resource to use. Wheeler's Graded Studies. This is a link to that book, and this is a free to print version. I bought the book. It looks like this. So I figured I would use this multiple times. And this is something, it has great authors, and it has, we would use this for dictation, but it's practicing. So this is practicing homophones. This is sound of U as in rude, marked, and it shows you the marks, how they're marking it. And I like to use this because it's helpful for kids just to become familiar with words. And you'll see how we talk about that a little bit in the program too. So it's an optional thing. And so, the splendid spelling is optional too, but you'll see how I'm using those. Okay, so sorry if I'm shaking my camera. Spelling Bootcamp Lesson 1. So we're going to define phonogram and phoneme. So this is the teacher. So you have these notes. You would be opening up Lesson 1 to get this information. So what I did is I actually just wrote on our chalkboard. So I wrote these things out for them. And then they have their own little Spelling Bootcamp student notebook. And they can just write in what lesson they're on, and anything they need to define, so definitions, they can write up there. And then they can write down any examples that you guys go over in class. And then this is for their own notes. So when they're done with this, they can keep this, right? This one, so we'd be defining phonogram, which means sound writing, a single letter or a combination of letters that symbolize speech sounds, versus phoneme, units of the phonetic system of a language which are perceived to be a single distinctive sound in the language, such as k in cool, back, and king. See, there's a C, a CK, and a K, and they all sound like k. That's what it means. When you see letters inside those slashes, it means sounds like. Okay, so this is like EIGH, sounds like A. So a capital A means the long sound, right, of A. Anyway, so this gives you stuff that you're going to go over with them and cover in your lesson. Then the activity for them would be that phonogram flashcard drill, sort into right pile, wrong pile, and keep for daily practice. You could also, if for really young students, show each phonogram and they echo the sound for you. So you may be doing this family style, you know, you've got multiple kids at multiple levels, so they may be doing things just a little bit differently. Okay, so after that, so when they would start, I'd have them go over on their own their phonogram wrong pile, this, and they're just going to go through this every day. They're going to say S-T, S, right? They're going to say O-U-G-H, A-O-U, right? And they're going to go through that out loud. They don't have to say it super loud. They can plug their ears and even whisper it as long as they can hear. It's helpful if your eyes are seeing, if you're reading and hearing at the same time. It's helpful. It's a good memory aid. So they'll warm up with that. Then you're always going to do spelling flashcards thus far. So you would have given them from lesson 1 these two cards, the phonogram card and the phoneme flashcard. Anything in red is a flashcard. So then they would do those, and then they would just reread those definitions to themselves. And that's their warm-up. And then they'd go on to the next consonant. That's the next flashcard they'd get. So we're going to cover consonants and consonant blends. Okay. So here's the lesson. Here's like more notes and things you can give them. Splendid spelling. So this is the independent activity. So I would like go over the concept with them a lot of times, and then we would then have an independent activity that reinforced what we were talking about. So splendid spelling, pages 2 through 3 for this day. So she has a more Charlotte Mason style approach. So words can have 2 or more consonants together that make a single sound. These are called consonant blends. Here is a list of them. So she has like 2 pages per concept, pretty much. I think that's going to be helpful to help it stick, to have them, and then you can just check it. Right, lesson 3, they're going to go on to vowels and diacritics. Let me see. So splendid spelling and or Wheeler's graded study. So like in this one, you could do both, right? Or you could do one or the other, or none at all. But this one I'd say do page 4 and 5 of splendid spelling, and then do Wheeler's graded studies lesson 3. And that would be getting them familiar with the AY spelling pattern. So there's going to be words in there over and over that are spelled with AY at the end. So it's kind of up to you and what your style is or whatnot. Let me see what else is helpful to tell you guys about this. I know that a lot of them are going to say dictate, right? So I liked using little slates, but you could just use paper or whiteboards or whatever. And I would dictate words to them and then see if they knew how to spell it. And I just have them hold up their little boards, their little slate when they were done. But you can do that however you want, you know. You could have them do the analysis where you say cab and have them go k-a-b. That's 3 sounds. Give them 3 blanks. K, and see if they know a-b. See if they can fill that in with the correct phonogram. And if not, then you just, you explain to them why it's not. I give you guys showing you how to write some stuff. Some diacritics. So this is going to do a lot of practicing of what I found a lot with a lot of stuff is that there's more phonograms than phonemes, right? We have more ways to spell sounds than sounds themselves. And a lot of times there's not a rule that tells you which phonogram is spelling that phoneme that time. Sometimes there's just not. There are a lot of helpful rules which we go over, but sometimes there's just not. And you see this a lot in homophones, like sail, like a sailboat, and sail, like let's go to the garage sale. So you just have to be familiar with the word, right, to know which spelling goes with which meaning, and then which words are that are spelled the same but are actually pronounced differently too. There's some of those also. So we go over some of that in here, but it's helpful to help kids to go through this, and I plan on probably doing this like every year, so that they over time just become more and more familiar, right? So we'll do this probably every year, and then we just followed up with our regular McGuffey spelling level program. And but the kids get the message that there is logic, there is a reason. We go into it. There's lessons. I even leave some links to some videos. Remember, if you see anything down here in the activities that is underlined in blue, that's a link. I think there was like these ones. So we wanted to talk about our Anglo-Saxon roots and how that's still affecting our spelling today. So who were the Anglo-Saxons and a short history of the English language. Those are both just YouTube videos that we watched, and I linked to them there for you. It's super interesting and fun, actually. You can go off on little tangents and get deep into it. If you ever want to look up Old English, or see if you can find a video of people trying to speak it, and it's so fun to listen to. It's really fun. Anyways, you really do start hearing the German roots. Okay, so I think that kind of makes sense. There's 34 of them. I gave you some blank pages. Okay, so there is a spelling vocabulary section that goes over all those definitions that we needed, and then there are the spelling rules also listed out. So that'll match up with the lessons. So we do talk about syllable division. So we've got syllable types here for you, syllable division steps, syllable division patterns, and things that you don't divide up between syllables. I misprinted, so I had to use it for my back cover. That is going in the shop today. A few more things that I think I may have put in the activity section, some links to them are, these. I have like some flashcards. Sometimes I already had these around the house, but I just found that there were certain things that different kids needed a little more practice on, so I would add these onto their little warm-up. So my second grader, he actually really needed some more practice on his blends, so I would have him take 10 of these out as part of his warm-up. So he would do his phonograms, and then he would do his spelling flashcards. He would reread those, and then he would do 10 of these. My sixth grader, he needed to practice his multiple meanings. So this is a bunch of homophones, right, or words that sound alike, that have different meanings or whatnot. The CVCs, we've used these before. We didn't use them this time, but if I was, maybe next year, I'm sure that he's going to be a kindergartner, Bo, will probably join us, and he'll do his CVC flashcards, right? And maybe I'll do a baby spelling boot camp for littles or something and kind of tone it down, but this should be pretty good for like elementary through middle school years. And I know, here, I'm trying to back up. I'm in my kitchen here. This is my spelling goodies that I used, and the kids really learned a lot. I learned a lot. It really drills it into your mind. Now we're going to jump back into our regularly scheduled spelling program. Because if you guys have any questions about this resource, don't be afraid to reach out. I love questions. Okay, happy home.